Hello friends, my name is PiyushChimankar and today we'll talk about twin balance sheet problem. Let us first try to understand what exactly is a twin balance sheet problem. Basically, let's start from the basics. What is a balance sheet? Balance sheet is nothing but a financial statement that summarizes companies, assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equity at a specific time. As the name suggests, twin balance sheet, as in the problem which occurs on two balance sheet. Over here, there will be two parties which will be involved. One is the Indian companies, and the other one is are the Indian banks. Basically, it's a twofold problem. One way, the companies are over leveraged, and on the other hand, the banks they give out a bad loan, and because of which, the problem occurs on two balance sheets. Now let's see what exactly goes wrong with the company's balance. When a company takes a loan for their prospective investment, they considering the growth opportunities which were there back in 2005, they took huge loans for investment purpose and to leverage their opportunity in the growth. That become too much debt for them, and they were not able to repay back the money, and they were not even able to repay back the interest rate. So, as per the economic survey of 2017, 40% of the corporate debt it monitored was owned by companies which had a interest coverage ratio less than 1. What is an interest coverage ratio? It is basically it compares the loan interest payment with the operating profits. If the figure is less than 1, it means that the company's operation do not generate enough money to even repay the interest, so let alone the entire amount. That's what basically happened with the companies, and with low profit, companies are not able to repay their loans, and the debts are rising at an alarming level. As a result, the companies have to buy back on the investment, and they were not making much investment, and which kind of reduced their revenues again. Now let's try to understand what is the scale of this problem. I would say the scale of this problem is quite large. Something of similar sort happened back in 1997, 98 with in the East Asian companies. What happened to and the situation was more or less similar. And the Indian it is considered that the India's bad loan problem is much bigger than the peak level seen in the Korea during the Asian crisis. Korea had seen around 8.9% bad debt, whereas the estimates say that in India it is around 9.5%, and the total bad valuation of the total bad loan currently has crossed more than rupees 8 trillion. Now let's try to understand what exactly why this twin balance. This problem originated back, it has been traced back to 2000s when the economy was on an upward trajectory. Due to the boom in the economy, firms start to take risk and abandon their conservative thought process of debt equity ratios and leverage themselves to exploit the opportunities which the economy was offering during the boom. And they didn't wanted to stay back and be a part of having a less growth during the boom. So what they tried to do is they changed from the conservative uh, uh, behavior, and they started taking loan from the banks and started investing in expansions and mergers uh, to have a very high growth rate. But during the financial crisis of 2007-8, the growth rate were decreased, and thus the revenue were decreased. Thus, the higher cost, lower revenue, and greater financial costs all squeeze the all corporate cash flows. So basically, they were not able to generate a lot of profits, which directly impacted the loan payment amount as well as the interest payment. Why the twin balance sheet problem is not good? Most of the banks which are affected by bad loans are public sector banks which are backed by the government. Government cannot let these public sector banks collapse. So what government will do? Government will when a situation like this happens, when banks have some bad debts and they have some stressed assets. So in such cases, government will intervene and pump money into the banks to overcome the stress which banks are facing because of the non-performing assets. But yeah, again, the where the government gets the money from, the money which government invests in, like pumps into the banks, they are the taxpayers' money. So directly or indirectly, it is basically the taxpayers who are paying for the bad debt. Thank you.